What are they cooking, damn? What is it? It's going somewhere into the planet, damn.
Turn his mouth inside out.
Oh, yo, something's not right there.
Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Kyrie Irving, he's pretty vocal too. He just put out something on his live stream saying that celebrities aren't real. Celebrities are not even really human. They're like bad actors. Do you have any like insight on like how Kyrie is, like, you know, things he's been talking about, the earth is flat and all this other stuff? Like, what do you think about being outspoken in that, you know, public light?
Well, I know him as a basketball player. He's a heck of a player.
Yes.
Without doubt. I knew that he took a stand, a rare stand that I just have to tip my hat to. I'm not vaccinating. And he's, unlike me, I'm retired. Really there's nothing that hurts, but he's risking salary. He's risking career. He's one of the best players in the league. And there's a lot of fallout from his stance that he took. So I'll always admire him for that.
I think that in the era that we're in right now, there's a shift happening. I think that when it comes to public figures, celebrities, even Jamie Foxx, he just said it's not being fun, you know.
It's not fun being a celebrity right now.
It's not fun being a celebrity right now because of how things are. It's a shift happening. And I really commend him for being that big of a star and that big of an athlete to be speaking out on certain things and putting his foot down and be like, no. And then that's what we do. Like, you know, we don't give a damn. Like, we'll say whatever. Like, I just think that it's our rights, our First Amendment to, you know, freedom of speech and freedom of press. When you look into these things, looking back, you're like, wait a minute, our rights are kind of slowly being stripped away. Then we had 2020 happen. So it's like, wait a minute, what was that? That was weird. So, and everybody complied, which was scary.
That was very scary. The whole world. I didn't think it would work. The whole world just shut down.
There's loads of weird shit happening in the UK right now. Have you actually seen this job that's just been advertised? Look at this. We have a Directed Energy Weapons International and Communications Advisor. And this job role closes on the 3rd of September. And to my knowledge, I didn't think we had energy weapons in the UK. I just thought it were free certain countries. But then that's not it. Look at this as well. This was posted 4 days before. And then the Home Office has just been awarded contracts worth over 1 million to prepare for a mass fatality event, including capacity to store up to 700 bodies. Plus we have the lockdown drills in schools. Like, everything is just getting all a bit too weird, and I don't know what to think of it all. But I would love to know what you guys think about this, because it all just seems a bit too sus. But this one is definitely by far the most bizarre. Why are they expecting to store up to 700 bodies? What do they know that we don't? Like, what mass fatality event are they preparing for? We have all these protests what are planned in. Like, do they know something that we don't? Plus we have these lockdown drills at our schools. Like, what the actual fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, this is crazy. Job postings for Mountain Dews. Shout out to the UK. Didn't think it was over there, but think again. My greatest advice is paint your roofs blue. Everything you got, just paint it blue.
Did you know that beneath a luxury Las Vegas hotel, wealthy elites paid $500,000 to watch people fight to the death? In 2019, FBI agents raided the prestigious Grandview Hotel after receiving anonymous tips. For 8 years, manager David Chen had maintained a perfect reputation with high-end guests. But hidden beneath the marble lobby was a horrific secret. Chen had been kidnapping homeless people and runaway teens, locking them in basement cells. The entire lower level was converted into a soundproof fighting arena with hidden entrances through service elevators. Wealthy crime figures and corrupt businessmen gathered to watch forced gladiator combat. When undercover agents witnessed an actual death match, they recorded Chen personally betting on which victim would survive. Agents found 23 victims still trapped in cells, exposing an international network spanning 4 major cities worldwide.
We have some news this evening. The first ever human case of the flesh-eating screwworm has officially been identified in Maryland, according to new exclusive reporting from Reuters. According to Reuters, the person who currently has the flesh-eating screwworm traveled to the United States of America from Guatemala. Many veterinarians learned of this first ever human case in the United States of America on a phone call with the CDC in the past week. Now, I want to say that there are going to be a lot of videos on this app freaking out about this, but there is no cause for concern at this time. Now, these screwworms rarely infest humans, but when it does happen, that can be fatal. And while these parasites can really, the issue really here is devastating cattle and cattle production in the United States of America if there really is a breakout. Spread the word so more people know. I'll do a full breakdown of this and more on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
They always say not to worry. I feel like there's more things important than just the cattle. Like, what about us? Shout out to Aaron Parnas. I wonder if this patient has been quarantined. What measures do the CDC take, or have they taken? We already got rabbits, squirrels, deer, spiders, radioactive shrimp, now screwworms that eat your flesh. This past week has been crazy.
Breaking, shocking news. Look at this guy. Look at Elon Musk. A 40-year-old Kenyan mental health activist claims he's Elon Musk's firstborn son and says, come on, man, he was born when Elon was 16 and wants a DNA test for confirmation. He does kind of look like Elon, quite similarly. This could be... Would this man be entitled to some of his billions? I don't know.
Elon, you are the father. So I need to get these two to Maury Povich. For sure. Shout out to Shane Vibes True. He does look like him, I can't lie. Gotta look like Paul Pierce. But like Elon was getting it on early.
How many people know this, but the real-life ghost hunters that the Conjuring franchise was based on had a dark secret that involved underage 15-year-old child brides. Many people are familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren, the married ghost hunting couple that became famous throughout the 1940s to the 1980s for their many investigations into hauntings, ghost sightings, and demonic possessions. And also, their exploits inspired many successful films and film franchises throughout the years, including the Amityville Horror, The Haunting in Connecticut, the Annabelle series of films, and most notably, the Conjuring series of films. The Conjuring movies in particular actually were based on the lives of Ed and Lorraine Warren and starred fictional versions of them played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and became one of the most successful horror franchises of all time. But they left out one very dark detail about their lives. It was the fact that in the early 1960s, Ed Warren worked as a bus driver at a high school to make ends meet while they got their paranormal investigation business up and running. And during this time, as about a 35-year-old man, he met a 15-year-old high school student named Judith Penny, fell in love with her, and started a romantic relationship with her. Allegedly. Judith Penny claims that in 1963, at the age of 15 years old, she moved into Ed and Lorraine Warren's Connecticut home and lived in an upstairs bedroom and began her life as Ed Warren's secret mistress. So that's what she claims, but is there proof? Well, shortly after she moved in, a neighbor actually noticed what was going on and called the police on the Warrens. But for some reason, instead of Ed Warren being arrested, Judith Penny was arrested for juvenile delinquency and spent a night in jail. And so throughout the rest of the late 60s and 70s, Ed and Lorraine Warren went on to become famous for all their big cases like the Amityville haunting, the Cheyenne Johnson case, the acquisition of the Annabelle doll, the Enfield poltergeist, so on and so forth. But the entire time, Judith Penny was living as Ed Warren's mistress, and Lorraine Warren had full knowledge of it and was allowing it to happen. Allegedly. But this wasn't the only dark secret that the couple were keeping. Judith Penny claims that throughout their marriage, Ed Warren was physically abusive to Lorraine, and that in 1978, Judith Penny became pregnant with Ed's baby, and the couple forced her to have an abortion, which is especially ironic considering their strong Catholic image. Ed Warren passed away in 2006. Judith Penny moved on and got married to a more age-appropriate man. And in 2013, Lorraine Warren teamed up with Warner Brothers to produce the first Conjuring film, which depicts Ed and Lorraine Warren as a loving, committed, heroic couple who notably are not in a pedophilic cuckold situation. And as an interesting side note, the contract between Warner Brothers and the Warren estate for The Conjuring explicitly stipulated that Ed Warren was not allowed to be shown in the movie watching child illicit material, which is a concerningly specific request. And you might think that Warner Brothers and the producers of The Conjuring and the director James Wan had no idea about this dark secret the Warrens were keeping prior to making the film. But you'd be wrong, because they were actually warned before going into production, and they decided to ignore it and make the movie anyway.
That's sick. It was specifically in a contract to be left out? That's crazy. Shout out to Treehouse Detective. That's right, safety first. For a second there, I thought he was gonna make it. I knew it was gonna be a fail. I didn't know it was gonna fail like that at the peak. Dang.
NASA is hiding something big. We all know NASA is a space company, but did you realize when they first started out, they had no interest in space whatsoever, as they were exploring our oceans. And as we all know, only about 5% of our oceans have actually been discovered. 1958, when NASA started, they were genuinely out exploring the oceans with submarines, submersibles, and looking into different technologies. Suddenly, one day, they switched from exploring our own planet to wanting to get us off of the planet as quickly as possible. People have been theorizing about this for years, saying, what did they find? What made them suddenly make that shift from the oceans to space? So, although it is true NASA did genuinely start out exploring in the oceans and they were doing these research missions, they actually still do. We don't necessarily see it as much because it can be done by radar and satellites, but they are still looking into the oceans a lot. The actual reason why they were looking into the ocean so much was to understand the atmosphere and Earth, similar to space, because they couldn't really get up there at that time. Once satellites and rockets were introduced and started becoming more prominent with space races, then they shifted their focus to saying, well, we can get up there now. Many people still do speculate about what actually did happen, and I mean, who knows, they very well could have found some pretty crazy stuff down there. That's the actual reason why they're doing it, so true, but mainly trash.
They've probably seen a Leviathan. That's what it's Matt 01. Interesting is that their research project started in the ocean. I know that.
Who the heck is this? Go on, tell me. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess who this is. I'm waiting. This isn't who I remember, you guys. Who the heck are you, lady? I don't think so. Any guesses yet before I expose one of the dozens of 2.0s in Hollywood? You guys are messing with people's eyes and their brains. How are we going from Adele's little sister to this? What's going on, guys? I really feel like we're in the Twilight Zone right now. Are these the same people? How are they reversing age, you guys? She looks younger here than she did a decade ago. How? Another thing that's bothering me is, why are all these celebrities channeling the 1950s? What was happening in the 1950s? I first recognized it when I saw Shania Twain 2.0, who used to look like this, by the way, acting like a Stepford wife, guys. Completely robotic. And then we had the Kate Beckinsale 2.0, who used to look like this, by the way, showing up at an event looking like a 1950s ballerina. What's happening? Jessie Murph, 1950s style. Sabrina Carpenter, 1950s style. You're all channeling the 1950s style. And if you were to put Kesha, Paris Hilton, Meghan Trainor, Sabrina Carpenter all in the same outfit. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. I mean, with Kesha, it makes sense because she was Paris Hilton's little discovery in 2005 on The Simple Life, if you don't remember. But how they got Paris Hilton to go from this to that, mind blown. What is going on in Hollywood and how are we going from this to this? I need answers immediately.
Yo, I didn't even know that was Paris Hilton. That's crazy. Shout out to A Truth for You. Yeah, they definitely got them Steppenwise vibes going on. Either they're shape-shifting or maybe they're clones.
What the hell did we just watch? Raja Jackson, the 25-year-old son of UFC champion Rampage Jackson, just put a wrestler in the hospital after entering the ring, slamming him on the mat, knocking him unconscious, and then proceeding to punch him in the face over 20 times while he laid there motionless. And the backstory as to why he did this doesn't make it better, it makes it worse. You see, Raja is a kick streamer and professional UFC fighter, and he was going to be part of a wrestling event on Saturday night in Los Angeles. Videos show Raja out back of the venue with a number of workers when he meets the wrestler that he was scheduled to enter the ring with. This is Stuart Steve. He's a US veteran who suffers from PTSD, and he started wrestling in 2009 so he could focus on something while trying to re-enter civilian life. Now, Raja and Stuart, they start to square up against each other when Stuart grabs a can and smashes it over Raja's head. Now, this caused the situation to get heated, and Raja says, "I will F him up." He's held back by other wrestlers and told that Stu always thinks they're working and that he was trying to create a storyline for the match later. Now, videos later show that Stuart apologized to Raja, saying that he saw the camera and he thought he was a worker. And Raja and his cameraman, they seemingly accept the apology, with the cameraman saying multiple times, "I get it now." Clearly, they did not. During Stu's match, Raja could be heard on the sidelines saying,
50 subs, knock him out.
After which he jumps in the ring, slams him, punches him multiple times, and half a dozen people enter the ring to try and restrain him, all of which was filmed live on Kick. Not to mention that there were kids in the crowd. Douglas Marlowe, one of the wrestlers who tried to stop Raja, said that Stuart had broken bones in his face and lost multiple teeth. Now, there's even more footage after the event showing Raja walking away, saying that he's tired of people playing with him, and then he gets a call from someone named Andre telling him that Stuart, the wrestler, flatlined in the ring, to which he responded saying,
"My bad."
Now, his dad, Rampage Jackson, has since made a statement saying, "I want to clear up the misinformation about my son Raja." He then proceeded to say that Raja was unexpectedly hit on the side of the head moments before Smith's match. He failed to mention, however, that Stuart apologized, and the two made up not moments, but hours before the event took place. The company also made a statement saying that in the 17 years of pro wrestling, there has never been anything as heinous take place as this. Now, as for Stuart Smith, he is awake and stable, but in bad condition, and people close to him say that this is going to be a long road to recovery. Kick has since banned Raja's account, and some are calling for him to be arrested and charged with attempted murder, but also for Kick themselves to be held accountable for allowing the stream to go on as long as it did. But as we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
Bro completely crashed out. What's worse is that his chat told him to do it. Shout out to Dylan Page. Yeah, I didn't know he was live streaming. I feel he should pay for that man's medical bills. Definitely. Facial reconstruction, all of that. Yeah, there's definitely some lawsuits on the way.
Oh, you sons of guns, I knew it. I knew that these mountains were actually petrified colossal trees. Look at the wood structure here. We know that this is wood. And then have a look at the side of this mountain. It is wood, guys. It is petrified wood. I mean, look at this. Buddy literally goes to a side of a mountain and just starts peeling the wood away. Look at how massive this is. It's all wood on the side of this mountain. It's so obvious. It's right in front of you guys. Now, wood doesn't just rot, it can mineralize. Have you ever seen the petrified forest of Arizona? Absolutely incredible, massive trees that have been petrified and turned into crystal. And these massive petrified trees can be found all over our world. This is what the Bible told us. This is what our ancestors told us, that we used to live in a much bigger realm. And I want you to ask yourself this: does this truly look like a mountain to you? Or does it look like a tree stump with a flat top? All of these huge mountains with flat tops used to be colossal trees, petrified trees from a very long time ago. They came down, they cut them all. You could see the column-like structures turned into stone. This is a petrified stump. Trees. They're all trees, guys. The fact that we already have human-sized petrified forests, like in Arizona, proves that these are massive, colossal tree stumps. The evidence is right in front of you guys. We used to live in a much bigger realm. Now, petrification can happen a lot faster than we have been told. When ash, pressure, and floods hit all at once, think about all these cataclysmic events that have been whispered and echoed throughout all of our ancient past. Petrification can happen very fast, guys. And what you're looking at right now is exactly that. Every single culture speaks of the giants, the Nephilim, the Titans, the Yontar, whether it's giant beings, giant architecture, giant trees. It's all over our ancient history, and the evidence is right in front of your face. You just need the eyes to see. I mean, like, come on. The obvious evidence is right there, guys. It's right in front of you. My question is, who cut all of these trees down and why? What happened to our ancient past? And why was all of this so obviously hidden from us? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and make sure to...
If those were just the stumps, imagine how tall the trees were. Shout out to Sheldon Sharia 369.
Did you see this behemoth that I found at Deception Island near Antarctica? With its mouth and nose and eyes? Well, guess what? I found another. And the beautiful thing is you can go to Google Earth and you can go find this exact spot all on your own. But check this out. I think there's multiple reasons for the Antarctica Treaty. I think one is it's the edge of our known world, the ice wall that holds in all the water, because water has to be flat and level. And it wasn't that. It's this. Holds in all the water, and I think there are a whole bunch of petrified ancient titans there. I mean, look at this guy. Just look. Mouth, nose, you see it. You know you do. And when you see them side by side, it's pretty difficult not to realize that there are faces here. I know there were giants here. Do you know there were giants here? Do your friends and family know there were giants here? Because knowing there were giants here helps take the veil off of all the lies we've been told our whole lives. But of course, this is for entertainment purposes. I know that's just pareidolia. Duh. Entertainment only.
That was a great catch. Shout out to the fittest flat earther. Those were the ones that were cutting down them trees.
Never ever post these 5 things on your social media. Don't share the view from your window or outside your home. Street signs, landmarks, or building names can give away exactly where you live. Avoid showing your daily routine. Posting your gym times, your morning runs, or when you leave for work makes it easy for someone to track you. And never share screenshots of your paychecks, account balances in order to show off. Skip the vacation countdowns. Posting your travel plans in advance is an open invite for burglars. Don't post that you're looking for work or housing, especially if you're alone. Scammers and traffickers often pose as helpers, offering fake jobs or places to stay through DMs. So next time, before you hit post, think twice. Stay safe out there, please.
Especially after the new update where it shows your location. Don't want to get pop smoked, if you know what I mean. Shout out to Cybersecurity Girl.
I bet you've never seen photos of the other side of the moon. The dark side of the moon doesn't exist, right? Because even the side of the moon that we don't see gets sunlight. All sides of the moon get equal sunlight, which also means while they last much longer, there is a daytime and nighttime on the moon. But there is no such thing as the dark side. It's just the far side, because the moon's rotational period is the same as its orbital period, so it's always facing the same side towards us. But there are fully illuminated images of the far side of the moon. Here's a mosaic image. It's very interesting that it looks so different from the side we see, because the crust on the side that's closer to us is thinner, which allowed volcanoes to erupt and fill these giant areas with lava, which turned into these dark patches that the far side doesn't really have. Here's a photo of it from the Artemis mission. Here's one from the Apollo missions. And yes, this one's real. This is from the Discover spacecraft, which is between the Earth and the Sun, and this is the moon passing between it, so it's fully illuminated. There's also a rover and a lander on the far side of the moon, and astronauts have orbited the moon and seen the far side themselves. And when they passed behind the moon, they were completely cut off from Earth and were in a total communication blackout. So it's not as mysterious as it seems.
Wonder if the astronauts seen any of the Transformers. Shout out to Astro Alexandra.
Astronomers discover an interstellar tunnel that connects our solar system to other stars. This was theorized but never proven until now. So basically, the Max Planck Institute, using their machine eRosita, found tunnels and pockets filled with hot plasma that connect us to two constellations. One of them being Canis Major, and that includes Sirius, and guess why that's crazy? Because the Dogon tribe in Africa knew Sirius's cosmology before astronomy confirmed it. They knew that Sirius was not a single star, but it was a system with an invisible companion, what we now call Sirius B. They also spoke of a third star, which still has not been confirmed. And guess how they learned this? From these beings called Nomo, who descended from the sky from Sirius, who were amphibious, fish-like, or water-like entities. Here they are. Here are more. And they told them things. They taught them agriculture, weaving, healing, and about the structure of the universe. So I first found this on LinkedIn. Langston Burroughs Jones Jr. posted it. He works with plasma. And this was insane. Posted a quote from the Bible, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. John 7:38. The Nomo people living waters. They travel through waters of the sky. It's plasma, guys. Holy F. It also connects to Centaurus, and I'm sure there's a whole lot of other mythological things there. So I found the actual paper. I have a plasma book coming out September 9th. The link is in my bio. This is why I love plasma. And it's about consciousness and plasma and the new human potential. Okay, back to this. Basically, they figured out, well, we know this. We live in an enormous bubble of million-degree low-density plasma. As I said, these tunnels lead to Canis Major and Centaurus, or however you say these things, and that these pathways may connect our cosmic neighborhood to larger super bubbles. We're all connected. Okay, this is what's interesting. The hot plasma does not uniformly fill our local bubble. Instead, it extends differently in various directions, hinting at structural complexity, not just a blob. So if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these findings support that we live in a plasma universe, which we do. And there is something called plasma cosmology, which is a non-standard model of the universe that posits plasma and its associated electric and magnetic forces are the primary organizing principles rather than just gravity. Hannes Alphen said this long time ago. I'm all in today, a long time ago. It also suggested that the universe is eternal and lacks a beginning or end. It is against the Big Bang. As am I. It was a big birth, but was it even a birth? It was a regeneration. We are a self-sustaining torus of plasma, which is the vehicle for consciousness, which is what I get into in my book. Anyway, I'm excited. This is the first of many plasma news. It will keep coming and it'll get weirder.
It's toroidal. Shout out to Dana Kipple. That's crazy. An interstellar tunnel. I like that new theories are coming out besides just the Big Bang, which makes no sense to me. It sounds like what Billy Carson was talking about when he mentions the Dogon trial. This is definitely an important discovery.
Tesla's master key. See, Tesla knew that magnetism and copper was the key to unlimited free energy. He wasn't chasing oil, coal, or wires. He was chasing the natural, ever-present forces of the universe, the ones that can't be patented or controlled. And this is why they got rid of him. What you're seeing is free energy being born right in front of you. And the Earth itself represents a giant coil with copper and magnetism because it has a magnetic core, our North Pole. And Tesla knew how to tap into the infinite generator that the Earth is. Tesla also knew that the atmosphere was a giant battery, the ether, and he built towers to pull this energy straight from the sky and deliver it for free for the people. So why is it that we don't have free energy today? Well, you can't put a meter on magnetism. Copper is abundant, magnets are everywhere, and if the world knew, the oil industry would collapse overnight. Obviously, this isn't good for the people that are in power. But remember, people, knowledge is true power, and you need to look within for the real answers. Peace and love.
The CIA's time travel experiments, Project Gateway.
The CIA wrote an obscure report on the Gateway experience, claiming that an altered state of human consciousness could transcend space and time. Declassified in 2003, this 29-page document was titled Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process. Associated with the Gateway training program involves movement outside of the boundaries of time-space, as in Focus 15, but with attention to discovering the future rather than the past. The individual who has achieved this state has reached a truly advanced level. Except in unusual circumstances, it is probably not attainable except by those who have conditioned themselves through long application of meditation, or by those who have practiced long and hard through the use of the hemisync tapes for a period of months, if not years.
Quickly before we go, got about 30 seconds. Aldi, the supermarket chain, is considering selling edible insects to help families afford protein. This stuff drives me nuts, Esther.
It's absolutely disgusting. I'm sure Bill Gates is over the moon because that's been the plan all along, to get us to stop eating normal food and to eat bugs while the elite at the top eat their Wagyu beef and lobster and watch all the peasants at the bottom eat insects and rats because it will save the planet, apparently.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm in no way questioning how much fuel this plane can hold, but this guy says no way you can convince me that a plane can fly with tens of thousands of gallons, 300,000 plus pounds of gas sloshing around in the wings. This is a National Storage Tank SCT 2704PR 60,000 gallon water tank. Boeing 747 holds 63,500 gallons of fuel weighing 2,000 tons. So this is called, there's a term for it, it's called the jet fuel conspiracy or jet fuel hoax. I'm not saying I believe it, but something about this is a bit strange.
He's done so much hair and he has vegetation on his heart.
He has what?
Vegetation.
What does that even mean?
Mold. Because drug addicts use faucet water with bacteria. So he had shot up so much that the bacteria in the water had went to his valve and started creating mold.
Holy shit.
He had open heart surgery. He dies in surgery. They bring him back to life. They give him a second chance at life. Doctor calls me, he's like, hey, he's got like less than 5% chance to live. I had a conversation with him afterwards and he was mumbling. All I heard was cremate me and spread my ashes on the hill. His house was built on a slope and that was the hill that we played on as kids. And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die. Dude made a miracle. He woke up the next day, no infection, vitals were good. So I told my wife, I said, this is my opportunity. I have to go save him.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video and like this kind of content, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.